Welcome to the Farm Stand Kitchen. I'm just inviting you guys in today into my kitchen because we're going to be making hamburger gravy, but we're going to be doing a test kitchen together. Because like we had talked about this before, how I just do this by scratch. And instead of me working through it and getting it all on paper and getting it to you, I thought, well, this would be fun. Let's just figure it out together. So that's what we're going to do. So this could be quite an adventure, but I think it's going to be okay. And we got the professional behind the camera here that knows how to make hamburger gravy. So
I think it turned out great when we made it.
Yours turned out really good. I seen that. Okay, so this is the way that I make it. I kind of told Dave when he was at the lakes, by the way, Dave, we're glad you're back.
Well, it's glad to be back, but boy, I tell you what, it sure was nice up there.
I know, you were having lots of fun. I was back here slaving away and you were laying on the beach and
catching all that fish.
Catching lots of fish. Now, it's good to have you back.
All right.
Okay, so what I've done here already, I'm using 1.5 pounds of the hamburger. So this is ground chuck is what I have in here. And then I also put in a 1/2 cup of chopped onion. Now I know Dave used a lot more than that. And then I also added, and I always do this with my hamburger gravy, I added a teaspoon of the Mrs. Dash onion and herb.
No, I didn't do that.
I know you
didn't have that.
I know you didn't. You kind of did just the basic route, which is fine. You guys really liked it that way. But I always kick up the flavor just a little bit. So what I did here, I browned the 1.5 pounds of the ground chuck with the 1/2 cup of sweet onion and 1 teaspoon of the Mrs. Dash onion and herb. And this is salt free, so we'll add our salt as we go. So I'm writing this down as we go because I'm going to put hamburger gravy in the next cookbook.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it'd be great.
I think we should do that. So
I grew up on it.
This is how it goes. We just figure out our scratch recipes, write them down, then we'll put them in print. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so there we have that going. Now, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of flour. Do you remember how much I think I told you 1/4, but you were using a little less, I think.
Yeah,
hamburger.
Quite the hamburger.
Yeah, so I'm going to add a 1/2 cup.
I had about 3 heaping tablespoons.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, so I'm adding a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're going to coat the meat with this flour. And that's why you don't want to drain your ground beef, because you need this for your roux. We need to coat the meat. It's just like in our sausage gravy. I mean, this is exactly the way we do it. I mean, it's this very same process. So now we're just I'm gonna let that cook just a tiny bit. I'm gonna cook that raw flour. So let's just go ahead and let that cook a little bit. And then what I have over here, we just boiled some potatoes. And I just scrubbed these up. These are some little new potatoes, some Yukon Golds. I just dropped them in some water, boiled them up. This is the way Dave likes it. He likes it with just boiled potatoes. I don't know. Did we have it with mashed before?
I don't think we
have. I don't think we have. I mean, I suppose you could.
I'm sure it would be good with mashed.
I think some people eat hamburger gravy over biscuits too.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of that. But we always just do the boiled potatoes. Is what we usually do. Now, Dave grew up on hamburger gravy. I did not. Dave's mom, he's got a lot of siblings, and this was a stretcher thing for her.
Yeah.
So she could really stretch some hamburger. So, but anyway, I just want to cook this just a tiny bit. We could let me just talk about the cookbooks real quick, because you guys are going to ask me every video. I do this because otherwise I get like 200 messages in my inbox. Where can you get that cookbook? So that's why I do it like this. But Farm Stand Collection Cookbook, over 400 recipes. This is the big popular book that everybody is trying to get their hands on. It's on our website. This is Dutch Oven Adventures. This is the one that Dave and I wrote together. It's outdoor cooking is what Dutch Oven Adventures is. You can buy them together in a 2-book set. Very popular. We sell quite a few of the 2-book set. Saves you $5 if you buy both. We ship them fast and free. It's on the website, thefarmstandkitchen.com. That's all one word, thefarmstandkitchen.com and go to the shop, and you'll find all of our books and merch. So that's where you find the books. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead then and start adding my liquid. So what I have here is 2 cups of milk. So I'm gonna start with this, and I'm gonna grab my whisk here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do 2 cups of milk. And I can just usually kind of tell by looking that I'm going to need just a little bit more liquid. So this is what I like to do. So I like to add some beef broth, which I'm going to add first some bouillon. This is just a little envelope.
Well, see, I didn't have that either.
Well, I knew you didn't have it, so I wasn't going to tell you. You know, I didn't want you to feel bad that you didn't have the...
Well, it still tasted good.
I know, it does. It tastes fine if you do it the other way. Just, you know, the simple way. So I'm going to kick up the beef flavor just a little bit more by adding a little bouillon. And then I'm going to add just about a half a cup of beef broth. So we're going to put that in there. Now we're going to let this start cooking here. Now, let me tell you at this point, I've done this before too, but I thought I had some in the cupboard, but I do not. I'm going to add some pepper. I've added browning sauce to this to make it a little brown. Now, I know, Dave, you said you remember your mom's being kind of brown.
Yeah.
And I know she added browning sauce. Mm-hmm. Kitchen bouquet, it's called, browning sauce. And you add it to gravies, and it makes them a little darker. A little darker in color.
Yeah.
And that's why hers was brown like that. It's because she added the browning sauce. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could totally do that. So now, I'm going to drain these potatoes because this is something else that I kind of like to do. And I know your mom kind of does this too. Adds a little potato water if she needs it. So I'm going to get that out of there. I'm going to put my potato water right in here. This is just the water that we boiled the potatoes in. And I like to have this in reserve in case this gets a little too thick. You can just kind of thin it out a little bit. How do you like yours, Dave? You like yours thicker or a little thinner?
Well, I like it just a tad thinner. I don't like it real thick.
I don't either. I don't like it super thick either. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of this potato water. And see, that'll just thicken up for you. Just want to cook it, you know, just for a little bit. Like I say, you can just keep adding your potato water if it gets a little too thick on you. And you also can make more of this. Like if you wanted to make, you know, 2.5 pounds, or, you know, if you're feeding more people, then probably 4 or 5, you could make more. But you just want to kind of bring this to a, let's just let that happen here. I have to tell you what happened today. We kind of talked about this a little bit this morning. We had another flash flood in Quincy, and we got water in our basement. So I've been in the basement all morning, squeegee, pushing water, but water table is very high, and this is our second flash flood in, when Dave was gone, we had a flash flood here in Quincy. We've had a couple rains even between that. I tell you what, we have a lot of water saturated in our ground here. Yeah, we're getting, we don't need any more rain. I think we're going to dry out though. I think our big 4th of July celebration is going to be awesome. All sun and hot. That's what we like. Okay, so we're just, this is just thickened up, and I'm just going to see if we need to thin it out a little bit more. And you can make this however you guys would like. If you like it thicker, you know, you could totally keep it thick. I just kind of like to thin it out a little bit. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I just like to use my potato water and just get it to the consistency that I like it. And that's the way you do that. It's a really fun scratch recipe. It's super delicious. I'm gonna taste it and see if we need more salt or anything. Adjust your seasonings at the end. Oh, pretty darn good. I'm gonna just adjust my salt and pepper just a little bit. Oh man, that's good. So I also would encourage you to do that. Adjust your seasoning at the end. Okay, I'm gonna turn this out because this will start popping everywhere. But that's all you have to do. It's so easy. Easy and delicious. Oh boy. Wait till our son Trey sees this.
Oh, yeah,
It's gonna be like, Mom, are you bringing that out to me today? I raised my kids on this too because Dave liked it. So I learned how to cook it from my mother-in-law. Oh wow, that looks good. Let's plate some up. All right, you tell me if I do this right, Dave. I think this is the way you do it. So Dave just put some potatoes down.
Yeah.
And then we just put our hamburger gravy right on top. Now, we always leave the peels on of new potatoes. You could certainly boil potatoes without peels. Kind of like the extra fiber. I don't mind it. Do you? I like it. I like it, like it. Okay. Like I say, we just eat it right over the boiled potatoes is what we do. Wow. That looks delicious, doesn't it? Might throw a little more pepper on there. Okay, here we go. That's good. I think our test recipe is spot on. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have some.
I know you're gonna have some. You've been out in the garage. You've been hungry. I'm kind of hungry too. I think we will just have some. This was really fun. Now you know how to make hamburger gravy.